My skin has never been as freshly rotten. Bathed in blood products from deaditesondeck.com has pampered my body until it is as fresh as the day they laid me in the grave. Head on over to Deadites on Deck today and get that fresh from the grave feeling.
Hi, I am Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel. Don't forget to watch Evil Dead Chick on Deadites on Deck on YouTube. Oh, and subscribe, man!
Come on down to the drive-in tonight. Evil Dead Chick is screening a slasher double feature. Slasher Fest is here. Bring your popcorn with extra butter, please. Put some soda on ice. Let's go! The blood will flow, the gore will splatter. Forget your stress, nothing else will matter. Except the movies and the memories. Come on down to the drive-in tonight. Evil Dead Chick is screening a slasher double feature. Slasher Fest is here. Bring your popcorn with extra butter, please. Put some soda on ice. Let's go! The blood will flow, the gore will splatter. Forget your stress, nothing else will matter. Except the movies and the memories.
Gang, hey, the poet. And you say you found Terror on Tour on YouTube. Yes, it is on YouTube, and I put some links in the description for the stream, but I was also going to put it in the chat here, which I think I'll go ahead and do for the benefit of anybody else that comes in. I will say, and I probably have frozen up, but just give me just 1 second here. And I should come back. I don't know. I really, really wish that they would fix that on StreamYard or YouTube or whichever one is causing that to happen. I suspect StreamYard, but you never can tell, can you? But let me just do this here. For the benefit of anybody else, in case they don't want to go around looking for it. But I'm glad that you found it, the poet. And I'm sorry I didn't get that stuff up earlier. I've been, I'm kind of glad it's coming up on the weekend because I've just been busy as all get out, but mainly preparing for the new job, which is a good thing. It's a good thing, but I've had to do a lot of running this past week. 123.56. Check here. Yeah, that's about right. The poet. So yeah, it's not a very long movie. It's under the hour and 30-minute mark. And yeah, I think that version starts with what's my jobby? The Sandy Code presents, or it may I'm trying to make mine smaller here so I don't have to. Hey, Hope. Just trying to make that box a little smaller so I'm not covering up so much stuff. All right. And I don't think, I mean, there may be some subtitles on the YouTube version, but I'm telling you, sometimes those YouTube subtitles ain't too good. But I know this movie inside out, forward, backward, upside down. If you're watching this in the comfort of your own home, you can play the thing as loud as you want. I just don't want to get knocked for YouTube because, believe it or not, I'd probably get knocked for this music being able to be heard, which is By the Names, by the way, which was a real band, and they are the band that is in this. These are not actors; these are band members, and they were in a band called The Names. The Names had broken up. I know way too much about this group in this movie. But the band, The Names, had broken up prior to this movie being made. But I guess they were still friendly with each other, and they could get up there up on stage and perform as a band without any problems. So if you're going to be watching along tonight and you want a copy to watch, because as far as I know, there's some old media home entertainment copies on VHS floating around, and I have one somewhere that I have transferred to disc. But as far as I know, there's no DVDs, there's no Blu-rays, definitely no 4Ks. And I suspect it's because of the music that's in it. I don't know. They put out some of the god awfulest stuff out, these boutique labels especially. I got my eye on you, Severin, and Vinegar Syndrome does its fair share of bad stuff too. And I'm not saying I don't buy it. I'm just saying. So the only thing that I would think that would keep this from having a legitimate release on anything other than a VHS would be the music rights. I can't think of any other reason, because like I said, they put out stuff that's better than Terror on Tour. They put out stuff that's way worse than Terror on Tour. Now, the Dead Pit Boys do not like Terror on Tour. That's been a back and forth between me and them for years. I'm doing good, Hope. How are you doing? And we always love joking around about it. So, if Uncle Bill pops up in here, CK pops up in here, there may be banter back and forth, but I don't know if either one of them will be in here. They're busy doing their own stuff. Your foot hurts? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Hope. I hope it gets better soon. I don't like any part of my body hurting, but when you have a foot problem and you're trying to walk on it and you have to walk on it, yeah, when you can't just sit there and kind of relax and take some pain medication and elevate your foot, it's not real good. So, gang, I just want to tell you where I'm at. I bet the Sandy Code presents about 1 minute and 26 seconds in. So if you guys and gals want to get yours queued up, I'll give you a couple of minutes to get queued up if you're going to be watching along. Now, this is not a requirement. You can come in here and hang out. I don't care. But if you want to watch the movie, the link for the YouTube link is in there. I'll let y'all get queued up. And then in a couple of minutes, we'll go ahead and get started with this first movie. Now, if nobody can stay for the second movie, like I always say, I may cut on out of here early. Okay. If there's at least one person still around that wants to stay for Rocktober Blood, hey, I will stay here with you. But if nobody can or wants to, like I said, I'll probably cut on out of here after Terror on Tour. And we can, watch Rocktober Blood at another time, right? And if people don't stay for the second film this time, I'll probably just go back to having one film for a while. And then I may ask, what y'all's take on it? Do y'all want to, have two films, or do you not want to have two films? I always like double checking with you fine folks just to see, what you would want to do. Now, again, it's no requirement to watch the movie. If you want to come in here and hang out and have fun, it's Friday evening. I would love for you to do that. I never have it be a requirement that you have to watch the movie. Okay. But if you do want to watch the movie, the YouTube link is in there. And you can, watch along if you would like. So I kind of lied. I was going to be watching YouTube. And then I remembered, Steve downloaded, and I don't know where he got it at. But it has a Astral Films at the big logo at the beginning of it. And this is probably the best version I have seen. And again, I don't know where Steve downloaded it at, but I had him put it on a flash drive for me. And then I just transfer it to my computer, and I'm watching it through VLC. Sorry about lying to you folks. I was just like, well, I could watch the YouTube version, but since Steve has this copy, I might just watch this copy. The Poet, you say you've seen both of these movies. Which band do you like? I don't know. I think I probably like the clowns from Terror on Tour the best. I mean, I know it sounds like it's calculated, me saying that, but I do love this movie. I like Rocktober Blood. I do. But as much as people say Terror on Tour is boring and yada, 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 I like it. Now, do I like it better than Trick or Treat? No. Trick or Treat is, if you were to ask me what my favorite rock and roll horror movie would be, hands down, it's Trick or Treat. Terror on Tour would never come above Trick or Treat for me. Okay? But in the pantheon of kind of bad rock horror movies, this one's my favorite, folks. This one's my favorite. And I don't care what anybody says. Terror on Tour, hands down in the best of the bad as far as rock horror movies. And I don't put Trick or Treat in the best of the bad. It's great. Trick or Treat from 1986. With Mark Price playing the heavy metal head in that movie. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this party started here. And if we do have anybody that stays for the second film, I will be playing. Well, I'll probably be playing the the intermission. And then if I come back from the intermission and nobody's here and nobody tells me beforehand they're going to stay or not going to stay for Rocktober Blood, then I will, like I said, I'll cut on out of here. I'll give an announcement and then I'll cut on out there. But let's go ahead and do the countdown and we'll go ahead and get started here. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Press play. And we are off and running. And I may have to go get something to eat here, but y'all can continue to watch the movie if you're watching the movie, and I will come back in a few minutes. And of course, I may have to take my obligatory bathroom break. But we're getting an introduction to the clowns here, otherwise known as the names. And the guy that's the drummer, I think it was him, he actually put a comment on my defense of this film way back a long, long time ago. And I know CK did a creepy, scrappy movie reviews on this. It's kind of like an answer to me doing the defense of. And also, I interviewed the guy that plays their manager in this, who went on to be the soup Nazi. And of course, they had to change it to the soup Nazi, I believe, because I guess people didn't like him being called the soup Nazi in later years. So I interviewed him back when I was doing the fanzine. And I tried to invite him the first time I had one of these kind of like watch alongs for this. And he wanted to, but he was really busy. I think there was a party or something that for him. He was the guest of honor, and he really wanted to come to this, but he couldn't. And you're going to have your obligatory nudity in this. And the clowns do stage antics where they appear to stab women on stage and tear their limbs off and all that. And this guy here, Herb, that's putting the makeup on, I always said looked like, and I shouldn't say this, but I always said he looked like Mark David Chapman, the guy that shot and killed John Lennon, which is the only thing that freaks me out about this guy. I mean, I'm sure he was a perfectly nice guy and everything. And the poet, let me ask you this. Is this your first time ever seen Terror on Tour? Because if it is, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Because a lot of other people just absolutely hate this movie. It's your first time seeing it. Okay. Well, I'm going to love, love, love it. If it's good or bad, the poet, I want to know. Because there's got to be somebody out there that likes it as much as I do. There's just got to be. And I've had people say it's not that bad. I mean, literally, though, and I'm sorry you guys have to watch the crappy YouTube version. This version that Steve got, I don't know where it came from, but it is literally the best copy of this I have seen. If I could provide everybody with a copy of this, I would. Now, I'll tell you who are bad actors or actresses is the women in this film. The women in this film are complete ditzes. They're stupid acting. But everybody else, I think, did a decent job. And Sandy Coe, the producer, is actually in this film as the manager of this building that the clowns are playing in. Again, I told you I know way too much about this movie. And here is the guy that would go on to be the soup Nazi. And there's Sandy Coe there. Sandy Coe, I always thought of Sandy Coe as kind of like a Dick Randall type of person. And if you know who Dick Randall is, he produced a lot of different films over the years. I don't think Sandy Coe did as many as Dick Randall did, not nearly as many. Because I did a Corn on the Cob thing where I talked about Sandy Coe and the movies that he produced. And there weren't very many. And the guy from Boarding House right there in the pink pants, me and Steve call him Pink Pants Man in here. But if you've ever seen the film Boarding House, that is John Wintergate there that's fighting with the other audience members for that fake limb. I don't know what that noise was. Heard something that sounded like something fell. I don't know. There's always some kind of sound around here, and I don't know what it is. This must be the dumbest chick on the face of the earth because this guy tells her, I'll give you 50 and I'll bring you another 50. Just give me the drugs because Ralph's got to have these. And Ralph, of course, is the drummer for the band. And she lets him do it. I mean, how stupid. And of course, this guy laughs and says, I hope you don't get cold out there because 50's all I got tonight. I don't know why she ain't in there watching the clowns because she's got a clown shirt on. And if she's selling drugs, I figured she'd have enough for a ticket, but yeah, she's toast. So at this point, it looks as if maybe somebody from the band is killing people. They're certainly got the makeup on. They're certainly dressed as them. But in the band still on stage, so I wouldn't think it would be one of the clowns. So, and here's another thing I noticed, and I don't want to spoil anything for people, but Herb does put the makeup on, but Herb looks a little bigger than that person that just killed that woman. Now, here is the band that plays the clowns in this, but this is also the real band. They're real musicians, and their band was called The Names. You can look them up on YouTube. people always laugh at me, and I don't mind because I seem to like these oddball groups that really nobody's ever heard of. I like the names. I like 4 out of 5 Doctors, who was the house band on House on Sorority Row. I mean, I don't know. I gravitate towards. I like well-known artists as well, but I a lot of times I will gravitate towards these lesser known or completely unknown people. I'm thinking about having Steve put all the old commentaries we did for things like this and some of the others that I don't just have audio for, and see if I can pull the audio off of it. Um, so I don't show the movie and be able to put it up for commentary chaos. Because we've got one for this, we've actually got 3 different versions of this movie that we've done. I think 2 or 3 different versions. We did commentaries for this movie. Uh-oh. Sandy Cobe found the dead chick there. I mean, the way I look at this movie is this wasn't a Friday the 13th or anything like that. It was just simply a low budget slasher movie. And another big complaint people have is the film is so dark and muddy. Well, what low budget film wasn't dark and muddy back in the day? I mean, a lot of the action takes place at night in this building. Um, and I mean, to me, you can see the kills. Prom Night's a great movie to me, a great slasher film. And first versions I seen of Prom Night were dark and muddy. But now, that we've got Blu-ray versions and stuff like that, it's a lot better. To me, that should encourage somebody to get the music clearance and get this movie out in a better format. Clean it up a little bit. Maybe they could find this copy and license it and put it out. I mean, really, I think the Name's music is good, but how much could it possibly cost to get music clearance for it? If you can put things like Horror House on Highway 5, Doom Asylum, stuff like that, and others, why can't we get Tara on tour, folks? And why can't we get, well, I know why we probably can't get a better copy of Rocktober or a legit release where people ain't being ripped off is because the Sebastian's son kind of tried to screw everybody over. And that last release that got put out, I'm glad I didn't order it because there was all kinds of problems. People were paying $100 basically, and some people didn't even get what they ordered. They got just completely ripped off. Um, but I think as fans, they could even do a double feature pack on a Blu-ray and put this and Rocktober Blood on it. But I don't know if, these movie companies could get a release from the Sebastian son or not. Because I think he owns the rights to it right now. And I believe their son played the bodyguard or whatever he was, security guard or whatever. So the poet, we're about 20 minutes into the film, almost. What are your thoughts so far? And if you don't, if you think it's bad, or you think it's crappy or whatever, I don't mind. I just like hearing other people's opinion. DePoe, you say I don't think it's bad, and some of the shots are okay, and you're watching the version that most people get to see. You'd be shocked at the number of people, though, that just basically crap all over this movie. But then they'll turn around and love something else that's like, I'm not meaning to pick on CK or anything, but he loves the forest, and I think that movie's as boring as all get out. I've tried to watch that movie 3 or 4 different times, and I fall asleep every time. I own it, and I can't get through it. But I can sit through something like this. But then there I go yawning after I say that. So, of course, this is 1980. People are, you know, snorting coke and smoking grass and drinking alcohol and all that stuff. And I guess they were going for a look similar to Kiss, maybe. But, of course, that was copyrighted. They couldn't do an exact, that's something else I think people condemn this movie for is, oh, they're trying to be like Kiss. Well, they can't be exactly like Kiss or they would have got their butts sued. So forgive them for trying to do something kind of similar. So apparently, even this early on, I think we can probably figure out it's not one of the guys in the band that's doing the killing. It's somebody that's that's putting their makeup on, that's putting the wigs on, that's dressing like them. I don't think I'm giving anything away because to me, that much is obvious. Maybe it was supposed to be sort of a mystery that maybe it was one of the members of the Clowns. Like I said, when that first chick gets killed, all the band members are still on stage. They can't like say, "Oh, I'm going to sneak out and go kill this chick and I'm going to come back." Right? And some people may be able to guess who it is. I did not the first time I saw it, and I most certainly am not going to give it away for anybody like the poet that this is her first time watching it. And we're seeing the groupies, the stupid chicks that just want to have sex with the rock stars, right? You can see clearly how stupid they act. And they just get progressively worse as the film goes on with these groupies. If I could say that one thing that's bad, and they're supposed to be stupid. It would be these women in the film. It's like not nobody's home with these chicks. Oh God, this chick here, and Cocaine Girl later uh, in the film. We'll just wait till we get to her, but I must say I hate those type of blankets. I remember uh, some people in my family having blankets like that, and they were not comfortable. They weren't soft. They were kind of scratchy. And can you imagine if the world was populated with women, all the women were this dumb? So, like, some of this dialogue, tie it up and do it to me. I know when we watched this, when me and Steve watched this for one of our commentaries, Steve said she's spreading out like a buffet. Oh, okay. Here's Cocaine Girl. I always thought she looked like Tracy Lords a little bit, but she says, "Boy, this cocaine made me horny." And like she takes off all her clothes and she's like, she's going to him and saying, "Come on over here, baby." It's maybe men will fall for that. Some of them would, I suppose. What shocks me though is some of them actually have bras on. You know, most of the time, especially in these early to mid 80s slashers, chicks would take their tops off and they didn't have any bra on. Oh, goodness, folks. I may have to go get me something to eat about 30 minutes into this. like I say, even though I go away, that's why I like to have somebody else on here with me. But, a lot of times it's just not feasible, at least anymore. Because I think so many people are doing their own thing, which is great. But that also means there are less people to actually be on things with you if you're doing something. Um, but that doesn't mean that you can't, if I go away for a couple of minutes, that you can't just keep watching and enjoying the movie till I get back. Uh-oh. And to tell you the honest truth, I mean, this is a slasher film. There is slashing going on, but this is not a generally bloody, like it's not an extremely bloody and or gory movie. It's just not. But I still, I'm a gore hound too, but I don't have to have blood splattering all over the walls and guts coming out and stuff like that in every movie I see to enjoy it, right? I always thought it was creepy when chicks call the guy they're having sex with daddy. It's like, ugh, cringy. Wonder if some people are coming in here and leaving because they're saying, oh my God, what movie are they watching? Oh, they're watching that movie. Or there may be some people that say, what in the hell is this movie? I never heard of it. Before I go take a break, the poet, since you're in here, and I know that you're in here because you're chatting in the chat, um, now that I've got this chair that's not blue or green and won't be messing with my green screen, what are y'all's thoughts on, and you may not care one way or the other, but I like, I like hearing what people think, and that chick just got killed. Um, what would y'all think of for things like this? Maybe me using the green screen, because I've got the green screen just back there, and now that my desk is moved over here, it's easier for me to use it more appropriately. But what would you think, like, of me having a drive-in background, like a drive-in movie background on the green screen behind me for things like the Slasher Fest? I just, like I say, I just like suggestions, or I like to know what you guys and gals think. There may be some of you that's like, well, heck, Dana, I don't care what the background behind you looks like. Um, yeah, do it. Okay, the poet. I trust your opinion because you're here for just about everything. So I will try to, the next time I have Slasher Fest, I will try to get an image that I can use. I may use Chat GPT or something to create me an image that I can put behind me for the green screen. Because I think it'd make it more fun. That was just my thought, or aesthetically pleasing, rather than seeing all the stuff behind me that's in this room. I haven't did that for a while. I used to do it all the time. I had a smaller green screen. Now I have a pull-up green screen that's big, and I can put it all in back of me. But I used to, before that, I had a circle one that I put on the back of my chair that I used for a while, but it's not as good as my pull-up screen. And I used to, when I was using OBS to stream, I used to put motion ones back behind me, but there were some people that made them dizzy and made them sick. I know CK was one of them that said, "Ooh, Dana, that movement back behind you all the time is just, you know, making me kind of nauseous." And StreamYard won't allow you to do that, or won't allow you to do it right now, but you can put a static picture behind you. And if you have a big enough green screen and you don't have, like blue and green on your chair like I used to have, it makes it a little more seamless. So the next time we do Slasher Fest, and I may test it out too with some other streams to see how it is. Like maybe for one of the watch along weekends, put a comfy looking living room behind me or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Or have, Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel and Poe and some of my other characters maybe sitting on a couch beside me or behind me or whatever. But I'm going to go take a bathroom break, and I'm also going to, I'm probably going to heat me up some soup. I usually have popcorn during these, but I don't know. I love popcorn, but I just wasn't feeling it right now. So I may just heat me up some soup. But I will be back in a few minutes, and y'all keep watching the movie and enjoying it, and I will be right back. All right, gang, I'm back. And I changed my mind. I forgot that I had bought, I don't know if y'all can see that good or not. There's kind of a glare on it, but there we go. Let me bring it back. This is a birthday cake, already made birthday cake or celebration cake that I bought for myself, because if you don't buy your birthday cake, who will? No, Steve took me out for a nice birthday, early birthday dinner at Texas Roadhouse today. So he did his diligent duty, and he got me this cool ass chair. So, um, I had a great birthday before my birthday. Hey, Steven. It's been a while since I've seen you. I'm glad to see you in here. How are you doing? So, tomorrow's actually my birthday. I turned the big 50. So, I'm going to have me a piece of this birthday cake in celebration, pre-celebration, while we're watching Chair on Tour. There's this other, hey kids. Sorry, I had my mouth full there. This stupid chick that the drummer is her boyfriend. Ralph's her boyfriend. Oh, I wanted to show y'all something that I was working on last night. Let me just step away for a second. I'll be right back. Since there's a few more people in here right now, you're not at work tonight. You thought you, oh, I'm at work tonight, but I thought I'd stop by. Not too busy. Well, I appreciate that, Stephen. The more the merrier. But this is something that I was working on last night, and I made one of these for myself. I worked on this design, and as y'all know, if y'all know anything about Joe Bob Briggs, you know he loves Cracker Barrel. So I made this Joe Bob / Cracker Barrel design, and I put it on a mug. I used my new tumbler and mug press that I got in. Thank you, kids. But I'm gonna be making some other stuff. And folks, announcement here for anybody that's interested. And kids, I know you do t-shirts and stuff, but I didn't know if you did tumblers and mugs and things like that as well. But I didn't even know these were a thing. But sublimation ovens. I guess I had just kind of missed that in the grand scheme of things. And I was watching some videos on YouTube the other night, and also was looking at equipment on Amazon and saw sublimation ovens. And the great thing about sublimation ovens is that you can put things that are either too big or too small for your heat presses. I mean, not t-shirts. T-shirts got to be put in the regular shirt press. But you can put bigger size mugs that won't fit in your regular heat press. Like if you have the HTV Ron auto press like I do, you can't fit the 15-ounce mugs. This is a 12-ounce mug. 12 ounces is about as big as you can fit as far as a mug in this HTV Ron auto press. But you also can't put like really small things, right? And you can't put bowls and stuff like that. But in a sublimation oven, you can't. So that's something I got myself with birthday money from my mother-in-law. Thank you, Marianne. She gave me $100 for my birthday. And so I said, I'm going to get me a sublimation oven with this. So you can do like pet food bowls, like dog bowls and cat bowls. And I don't know, I thought about making bowls for my iguana, Toby, and stuff like that. You know, why not make bows for all the animals, right? You can do shot glasses. Of course, shot glasses are too small to put in these regular presses, right? And you certainly can't put bowls or anything like that in there. So this is going to open up a whole new world for me, folks. And I'm really, 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 really excited about it. Because that means I can put more things on the side. Stephen, you say, I remember he was in the miniseries Stephen King's The Stand 1994. That was awesome, but it's really long. I read the book The Stand in 95. So you read the version, I'm guessing, Stephen, like I read, because when Stephen King first put out The Stand, he was still a new writer, and the publisher made him go back in and cut a bunch of stuff because they were like, you're still a new writer at this time. We don't know how well this is going to sell if it's gigantic. So many moons later, but not long before the miniseries came out, I guess, they put out the expanded version that had everything. And that's the version I read just prior to the miniseries. And I think The Stand is my favorite miniseries that was done out of all the Stephen King miniseries that came out. Yeah. I was so glad I got to read the uncut version. And I managed to finish it because I was finishing it up about the time the miniseries came on, because I graduated from high school in 1994. And so I was like, by golly, I'm going to finish this gigantic book before this miniseries is over, or before this miniseries comes on. And I managed to do it too. So to get it back into the movie a little bit, we see Herb. I don't really know why Herb's wandering around here looking at everybody's shits, but he's looking at everybody's stuff, and he sees Tim, the clown's manager, a weird letter that his mom had written him, and he's like, oh, I thought I was screwed up. That's a lot of medication in there. It's like, is this shared medication or what is it? And guys, gals, I'm not trying to, push on to buying anything, but soon I'm going to be putting mugs for $15 a piece. For like, I'll probably be charging $15 for like a single image like this, but for like a full wrap around thing, I'll probably be charging $20 for those. Just letting you know, those are coming to the site. And you can either pick one of the designs that I put up there, of which the Joe Bob Briggs one will be one of them, Or you can let me know what it is that you want, and I'll work with you to see if we can get you one. You think those are reasonable prices? Well, I try to make everything reasonable, but kids, you sell stuff, so I know you understand this, and Candace, she understands too because she's handmade things. She's more hands-on and handmade than I am because Candace is an artist and she can draw and sculpt and paint and do all that stuff just like my cousin Heather. Now, I'm not as artistic as that, but I do what I can. But you're still putting time. You're still having to buy materials. So I think that sometimes what people that don't do this for a living or don't do this on a regular basis, they don't understand. They think, oh my gosh, you're charging me that? I can go to Walmart and get, yeah, you can go to Walmart and get a lot of things. But Walmart's not, they're not customizing. It is what it is at Walmart, folks. It is what it is at Target or Meijer or wherever you go. You say, yeah, I do for sure. Yeah, people that actually do this on a regular or semi-regular basis, they understand. But people that are outside of it, I think they think we just, I don't know. We go to Walmart and we buy something that costs $5 and we put it out on a site and upcharge it. No, I don't. I don't know what anybody else is doing, but I may get t-shirts from Amazon or Walmart or something that are blank, and then I still have to do the work. I have to use my ink. I have to use my sublimation paper. I have to buy the shirts, and there's my time. Yeah, right, kids. You say, yeah, it's weird how people treat small creators for making stuff. It makes no sense. It absolutely does not. And the only thing I can think of is they're just outside of it and they just don't realize. Because the thing is, if we just sell this at cost, we're not going to make a profit. And as much as I would like to say I'm not doing this to make a little money, I would be lying if I, said other than, yeah, I want to make a little bit of a profit. Who wouldn't? I love creating, I love designing, I love doing all of that. But you also need to make a little money too. If you're going to survive out there, that is. You love it all too. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I ain't even gonna lie about it. Designing and stuff is a lot of fun. It took you 3 years before you could do yours part time. Yeah. I mean, I'm still at the part where I can't even do it part time. And Candace has tried to give me pointers and stuff like that, but just gotta keep trucking. Yeah, that's at the point I'm at because what Candace tells me is she says, I don't think you found your core audience yet or your core, consumer yet. And she says, you'll hit your niche. It's just going to take a little time. Now, I'm sorry, folks. I got off of the movie here, and we're almost an hour into the movie, and this is a short movie. Kitschy said that could be you would just keep doing your stuff, and if you don't, I highly recommend using X to promote stuff. Okay. I will keep that in mind. I know Candace mentioned doing it on Facebook and Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. And I did the Facebook Marketplace, and I don't know, people are looking at the ads I'm putting up, but nobody, was taking me up on it. I put things on our neighborhood Facebook page. I was hoping, because I said I'll do custom work, and I was hoping maybe people would want me to make t-shirts for ball teams or something like that. Kids, you say I got a lot of viewers on YouTube from there and X. Facebook Marketplace isn't really good at horror stuff, though. You say my ex has really helped me a lot, and now my viewers hire me for work. Don't sleep on it. Yeah, I mean, for sure, you got to keep working. Got to keep, like you said, kids. You got to keep trucking and keep trying different things and stuff like that. Which is something I try to tell Steve, my husband, is that just because I'm not selling a lot of stuff right now doesn't mean that it's not coming for me, right? That the floodgates might not open. But who thinks if you don't sell anything in a while, then you should just hang up your job? And I don't believe that way. I want to keep trying. I don't want to get discouraged and sell off all my equipment. I love my equipment because I love designing. Even if nobody buys stuff for me, I make stuff for myself. I make stuff for my family. Like I just made my mom's body wash and stuff for her late Mother's Day gift. The gift box that I've got going for. I just made her rose petal body wash. I colored it with mica powder and all that stuff, and it just looks absolutely beautiful to me. And also, I made her a mug last night with one of the Forever Country logos I made on it. And Kitschy say, I think your stuff would do good on X. Lots of horror fans over there, convention goers, etc. Higher recommended for our niche. Mine opened when I least expected it. Yeah, I mean, that's what's happened to Candace, too. And you say, nah, don't be discouraged. It will happen. And I'm convinced it will. It might not be this year. It might not be next year. It could be 3 years from now, or it could be tomorrow. You just never know. I keep trying and adding different things, just like doing the slasher fest popcorn, doing the body wash, the bathed in blood products, the body wash, I'm eventually going to do bubble bath and shampoo and lotion, all kinds of things. So folks, we are at about the last quarter of this movie. I'm sorry I got off on talking about other stuff, but that's all the fun of doing this. We don't necessarily have to talk about the movie 100%. But this is the last quarter of the film, or about the last quarter, or about an hour in. And I hope y'all have enjoyed this. Those of y'all that have been watching along, I hope you have enjoyed it. Early on, the poet said he didn't think it was that bad of a movie, and that also some of the shots looked okay. Excuse me, folks. Now I'm going to start sneezing. Something has gotten my allergies just went crazy into overdrive, I'll tell you. Now, this is where one of the clown's roadies is going to get fired. Oh, goodness. Sorry, y'all. So this chick here that plays, I think she must have been a hooker and got busted several times, but the cops want to use her to try to figure out who the killer is. And I believe she was on another Sandy Cove project that Don Edmonds, by the way, directed this, folks. Yeah, that Don Edmonds that did Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS. But he was also, he didn't direct it. Nettie Pena, I don't know who that is, and I don't know if that's a pseudonym or what. But Nettie Pena directed, but Don Edmonds was actually in it, Home Sweet Home. Now, again, Home Sweet Home, I'm not saying it's not a fun movie, but it's a bad movie, folks. And it's a Thanksgiving horror film, okay? But I believe this chick here, what I was getting to, is I believe this chick played the Hispanic girl that is the girlfriend of one of the guys in the Bradley family. And she's always singing and stuff like that. I think this is a better character for her, and you get to see her range more and stuff like that. It's just a shame that she doesn't turn up until about the last quarter of the movie. And I think she's very attractive here. I mean, she's cute on Home Sweet Home, but I think she really they really show her natural. I think she's got a lot of natural beauty. And that hair. I think Steve says she has stripper hair, but I think her hair is beautiful. The poet, my timestamp's an hour and 3 minutes and 35 seconds. And Herb is, he's got his makeup halfway on and he's talking to the girl that I was talking about, the hooker that the cops are using to try to find out who the killer is. Excuse me, folks. Okay, I always thought that this was funny. This guy here with the beard on the left, you hadn't seen this dude until now. And then there's another dude that this cop goes and talks to who's, I love homicide. And you didn't see this guy before either. I don't know why they would introduce these two guys at the, at the 11th hour or whatever. You say the YouTube version is off or wrong. Okay, well, maybe I can help you get synced up here to Poet. Sorry about that. The cop is getting ready to talk to this other guy that I said, just the one that says, Sergeant, I love homicide, or Lieutenant, or whatever he calls him. And he's backstage talking to this guy. And he's wrote down some names for the cop. Oh God, now here's this stupid chick again. The drummer's girlfriend. Good old Ralph's girlfriend here. You're telling me that she can't tell that ain't Ralph? How many times has she had sex with Ralph and she can't tell that's not him? I think this is where she's going, oh, while she's taking her clothes off. It's so stupid. Like I said, the chicks in this are the worst. And she's got a bra on too, which was not a thing that happened a lot in, especially in early to mid 80s films and even like mid to late 70s stuff. Usually, like I said, they would take their tops off and there would be nothing underneath there anyway. She's wrapping up in that itchy looking blanket. There she goes. Oh, man. I want to know where he got that big old knife at. Does that place have a kitchen? You got it there. Uh-oh. You're toast, chick. And again, they make no bones about all the band members are together at all times, even when these killings are going on, right? Except, when they were partying and stuff. But I think you've already established that it's more than likely not one of the clowns. Yeah, it's somebody dressing like them and putting their makeup on, but it's not one of them. Uh-oh. Well, she discovered one of the bodies there. Yeah. Oh, slash that pretty face. This is, this is the girl you would love to see as a final girl, I would think. But we'll see what happens here. Now, I will say that we're going to, I'm going to go ahead and have the intermission when this is over. And then when I come back, if there's anybody in here, and I will give, a few minutes. I won't just because nobody's in here when I come back after intermission time, that I'm going to say, all right, I'm out here. But if after waiting a few minutes, there's nobody in here, or everybody tells me, well, I'm not staying for the second movie, then I will, call it a night early and tie things up and get off here. If there are some of you that stay around for Rocktober Blood, I will be happy to stay here with you and watch it. So we'll just see how this goes. And if nobody's able to stay for the second feature, then like I said earlier, I will go back to Slasher Fest just being one movie. And I will do it that way for a while, and then we'll revisit at a later time. Because I had originally planned Slasher Fest to be a double feature every time. But, again, I want to do what you guys would prefer. Because you guys and gals are the watchers of my stuff. Now, this movie, people complain, or people have complained, that virtually nothing happens in this, that there are long stretches of time. But I think of this is stalk and slash. Plain and simple. You won't be staying for it. Well, that's okay, the poet. If nobody stays, and even if somebody does stay and I do Rocktober Blood, I may show Rocktober Blood at a later time. So, if we don't have it on this Slasher Fest, I'll show it on another edition of Slasher Fest. And that way you get another opportunity to watch it along with me. I do want to tell you guys and gals that are in here, I will be putting a watch along poll up soon for a future watch along weekend that's going to be Exploitation Extreme watch along weekend. And I'll go ahead and tell you the choices, because I wanted to have stuff that was exploitation with a little bit of sleaze, or in some cases a lot of sleaze. So Maniac, Nightmare or Nightmares in the Damaged Brain, and New York Ripper, the Lucio Fulci film, are going to be the choices. So y'all can be thinking about what you want to pick for that. There's mannequin head. So we got about 13 or so minutes left in the film, so not very much. This is Lambert, the main cop here. I kind of like the character of Lambert too, which is why I hate to see this happen to him. And in defense of this movie, folks, like I said earlier, a lot of scenes are dark, but they take place in a building at night, and it's a lot of the action takes place either outside the building at night or in backstage where it would not be very well lit anyway. And some people might say, well, Dana, that's no excuse for a movie being so damn dark because they have lighting and stuff. Well, yeah, but it's low budget too. And some people might also say, why do you spend so much time defending this movie? Well, sometimes I like to champion the underdog, folks. I like to introduce or maybe reintroduce movies to people because there may be people that like them like I do. There's not going to be necessarily everybody's going to hate on a particular movie. Yeah, a lot of people don't like this, but that doesn't mean there might not be an audience for it. And folks, we're down to the final like 9 or so minutes. And that probably includes credits too. So she's saying that poor Lambert's no more, folks. And I think she really cared about Lambert and he cared about her. As in, I don't think they were in love with each other, but I think they cared about each other. she's going to take his gun. See, I hated this. I hate when Lambert gets killed, and I hate when she gets killed. Oh, she pulled his mask off. So let's see. Oh, do you guys know who it is now? For those of you that are watching along, can you tell? But see, I would have liked to have had her be the final girl. I hate it that she gets killed. Because she was all these chicks, and I know there weren't too many to pick from that weren't just completely stupid. But she was a smart one. Sorry, that was something in Slack that popped up. Sorry about that, folks. And so this is Herb. And Herb's found the same dead girl. So it's obvious, if you hadn't figured out, it's obvious that it's not Herb that's doing it. Uh-oh. And we got two imposters running around in the clown's makeup. So it's Tim, folks. It's the manager. I didn't want to spoil it for you, but if you haven't figured it out, it's Tim. Tim. And he's going to explain in the horror movie way why all these women had to die and why he doesn't really want to kill Herb, but he's like, I liked you out of all of them. I liked you, and so he's like, and so he's explaining the women defiled themselves. They had to die, Herb. Horror movie logic, right? The killer's horror movie logic. And the end, though, yeah, it's over the top, folks. But he's like, wow, why'd you do that, Herb? But the final scene coming up is great. So I was never really sure if it doesn't appear that he killed Herb. It appears that he slashed him in the back, but not that he killed him. So I'm never sure about that. But we're coming up on the final moments of the film. And there's Herb. He comes stumbling out there with his slashed back. The band is all shocked looking. And then he collapses. But this is the best. This is the best. Some people might think it's corny. Here Tim comes. Well, I guess technically he's dead now. I'd forgotten about that because he stabs her one final time and does this stop thing, and then you have a freeze frame on him saying stop. I'm sorry. I just think that's the greatest. And Tim's name is actually Larry Thomas, but he may have added, some letters to his name for this, Kids, you say, I miss movies using weird freeze frames. Kind of a lost art. It really is. Because I love just about every horror movie that has a freeze frame like that. I love it. And Verkina Flower, who is the art director, if y'all are looking at the credits and can see this, and Buck Flower. And I believe Verkina Flower is Buck Flower's daughter. But Buck was a production manager on this, and his daughter was an art director. You say me too, kind of builds tension. Yeah, it does. It most certainly does. Okay, I'm tired of the stuff coming up in Slack. They always do this at the end of the day. Slack pops up a bunch of announcement things right in the middle of my stuff. Burkina also did the wardrobe. I mean, what I was going to say before that pop-up came up here was sometimes, I mean, with a movie like this, you're probably not going to have any sequels, but it kind of opens up some movies for the possibility of a sequel, right? If you know the killer is not dead at the end of the film, then it kind of could lend itself to there being, possible sequels. All right. So, folks, we have officially reached the end of Terror on Tour. I hope for those of you that were watching along, if this was your first time watching it, and to Poet, I know it was yours, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time hanging out with me and the other people in the chat, Kits, the Poet, Stephen. I thank you and Hope. I thank all you guys and gals for hanging out and keeping me company in the chat tonight. I really, really appreciate it, especially for those of you that won't get to stay for the second feature, which if there's anybody left after the intermission, you can watch Rocktober Blood with me. Otherwise, I'll be calling it an early night, and I will... was a good movie to Poet? You don't get the hate? I don't either. But there are a lot of people, and I'm not saying that they're jumping on the Dead Pit train, because I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they legitimately hate this movie. And a lot of people like to kid me about it. And I'm a good sport. I don't mind if they kid me about it. But yeah, I don't. I don't understand the hate, but they're entitled to their hate, just like I'm entitled to my liking it, right? So, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope everybody else enjoyed it, especially if this was your first time watching it. But I am going to take another restroom break and put on the intermission title sequence. And if, like I said, if there's anybody left when I come back in a few minutes after the intermission, we will watch Rocktober Blood. And if not, I'll see you guys and gals next time. But DePoet, thank you for joining me. I know you can't stay for Rocktober Blood. Thank you for joining me for Terror on Tour, and I am so glad you enjoyed it. And I will be back after the intermission, folks.
Intermission time. Pick up some delicious hot buttered popcorn at our concession stand. Hamburgers, hot dogs, and nachos too. Plus an extra large ice cold soda to quench your thirst. It's intermission time. Don't delay. Intermission time. Pick up some delicious hot buttered popcorn at our concession stand. Hamburgers, hot dogs, and nachos too. Plus an extra large ice cold soda to quench your thirst. It's intermission time. Don't delay. Intermission time. Pick up some delicious hot buttered popcorn at our concession stand. Hamburgers, hot dogs, and nachos too. Plus an extra large ice cold soda to quench your thirst. It's intermission time. Intermission time. Pick up some delicious hot buttered popcorn at our concession stand. Hamburgers, hot dogs, and nachos too. Plus an extra large ice cold soda to quench your thirst. It's intermission time. Don't delay. Intermission time. Pick up some delicious hot buttered popcorn at our concession stand. Hamburgers, hot dogs, and nachos too. Plus an extra large ice cold soda to quench your thirst. It's intermission time. Don't delay.
All right, gang. Sorry, I was trying to get mine because I'm going to have to watch this one on YouTube. And so you may see me looking over here, even though I've seen this movie a bunch of times, um, to look at the screen. Now, I've got my tablet over here. That way I don't have to have another tab open, flipping back and forth and causing me to freeze up and all that stuff. So I've got it queued up on my tablet. Kit, you say you haven't seen Rocktober Blood in a while. It's been a little bit since I watched it last, to be honest. But I have mine queued up on the YouTube link that I provided in the chat for you guys and gals in case you don't have a copy to watch. And I've got mine queued up about 4 seconds in. It says Sebastian International Pictures presents. So for those of you that are going to be watching along with me, and I see 2 people in here. I know Kits is in here. So we're going to continue for as long as you guys and gals can stay in here, that are in here. I said even if there was just one person, I was going to stay in here. You're synced up, Kits? All right, awesome. So we'll give it about a minute or 2 more, just in case other folks want to come in and they're not sure when my intermission was going to end. I planned on the intermission ending about 9 o'clock, and we would get started soon after that. So, again, Rocktober Blood technically doesn't have a legitimate other than a VHS. Now, I hope nobody got ripped off by the Sebastian son who masterminded this thing, and ripped off a bunch of fans of Rocktober Blood a few years ago by claiming they were going to put out a Blu-ray and I think a DVD version, and you could get it signed by Billy I and all that stuff. And it turned out to be a shit show, basically. Some people didn't get their copies. I think some people got them, and it was just basically a VHS rip and stuck on a Blu-ray. That's all it was. There was no remastering or anything going on. So shame on you. I can't even remember what their son's first name is. But Ferd and Beverly Sebastian's son is the one that masterminded this whole thing, and basically took advantage of the fans of Rocktober Blood. And I don't like that. And I'm going to call somebody out when they do that. So shame on you, for doing that to the fans of Rocktober Blood. And a lot of people that hate Terror on Tour like this movie really well, or dare I say it, they love it. So we're going to go ahead and do the countdown and get synced up. Now, I don't have the sound on mine because I don't want to get in trouble with the gods of YouTube. But if you're watching this in the comfort of your own home, feel free to play it as loud as you want. Okay? So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Press play, and we are off and running. A film by the Sebastians. And I think this is going to have crappy subtitles on it. And the first time I was introduced to Rocktober Blood was my brother and I were at a flea market, and there was someone selling old VHS tapes. And these were, I guess, prior rentals from a rental store, because it was in a plastic case. Yeah, I love how cheesy the text is for the movie title, too. But I ran across this VHS tape in a clear plastic case. It didn't have any outer sleeve or anything. And it said Rocktober Blood on it. So I assumed it was a horror movie, took it home, and I've loved it ever since. So But as I said earlier, of course, you can watch this on YouTube as well. Okay, Ben Sebastian. I think that's the Sebastian's son. I'm pretty sure. Shame on you, Ben Sebastian, for masterminding that scam fest. I think the money was supposed to go to a Greyhound rescue or something that uh, Ferd and Beverly Sebastian were supporters of, which is fine. That's great. But don't let your son give substandard quality products or not uh, make good on said products to fans of this movie. I don't know what that was. That wasn't even subtitles. I think I'm just going to not have the subtitles on there because, I mean, I've seen this movie enough. I know what the dialogue is. Now, kids said, I can't remember. Had you seen Terror on Tour before? Because I was kind of wondering how you compare the two. How does Rocktober Blood compare with Terror on Tour or the other way around or whatever? You've seen this one, just been a while. What about Terror on Tour? Did you see it at all? Prior to tonight, I guess I should say. You love horror movies with music involved. I'm a big metalhead and musician. Haha. Yeah, I mean, I didn't used to consider myself a metalhead, but this is kind of sad to say. But after Ozzy Osbourne passed away, I kind of just dived into all of his music and I just absolutely love it. So I guess I'm a metalhead after the fact. Well, somebody else dropped out, kid, so it might just be me and you tonight for this remainder. Kid, you say you saw Ozzy live in Syracuse for your 27th B Day. It's so sad he's gone. Oh, I hate to say it, but I envy you that you got to see Ozzy live. If I had been more into his music and paid more attention, I probably could have went and seen him too. And that's one of my greatest regrets in life. I'm gonna get up and let my girl doggies in real quick. Zoe, what are you doing? Don't be digging out there. Come on. You and Darcy need to come in. Don't dig. Big hole in the yard. Oh, you're on bed rest this weekend, kids? Are you okay? I mean, I guess you are if you're in here. You say, hey, it's cool. I'm on bed rest this weekend, so this is a nice relief. You'll see if any of your friends want to come over. Yeah, the more the merrier. But if they can't, that's okay. But I was fussing at my Zoe because she was digging a big old hole out in the backyard. You had just had a little health issue, but I'm getting better. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're getting better. Sorry that you had to go through that, though. You'll see if Mage or Paige is hanging around. Okay, cool. But like I said, if they can't or they're doing something else, I totally understand. I usually don't have anybody for the second movie, so I'm glad to have you kids. I wonder if I could maybe just move this over here so I'm not having to look to the side all the time. You like double features, kids? Yeah, I decided, I don't know why I didn't think to do this before. I just decided to move my tablet over here in front of me. That way I'm not looking like this. Yeah, you say that guy looks like he stuck his finger in a socket for that hairdo. I want to say this one was 84. Oh, it's got a throat slit. Yeah, the costume people were like, just roll around in bed and don't brush your hair. Yeah, more than likely. I guess we got to remember it's the 80s too. So, didn't notice that much dust on my tablet till I moved it over here more in the light. This was in the days when they didn't tan naked, I guess, because she's getting in the hot tub and her butt is as white as snow, but the rest of her's tan. Now the subtitles are doing better. Okay, I don't know what the deal was earlier. Turn them back on. Exactly. She should know better than to hot tub at night. Tisk tisk her 101. Exactly. Ah, she's toast. I'm gonna walk over here and see if my other two girls want to come in. Zoe, Zoe, come on, girl. Oh, you don't have dirty feet. Oh, I see what the problem is. This was evidently a uh, Spanish speaking person that put these subtitles on here. So that's all right. I've seen this movie enough. His sunglasses are too big for his head. Yeah. And maybe the reason people prefer this movie to like Terror on Tour is maybe because this movie is so over the top, maybe, overall. Yeah, somebody killed her. It's this dude. This cop here, though, or security guard, whatever he said, "You're arrested," which is so hilarious. Yeah, exactly. This is not how to get a date. Darcy, what are you doing? Leave Brink alone. Brink's laying in Darcy's bed in the kitchen, and Darcy wants to get in it. Darcy. Chase Brink out there. All right, now we're 2 years later, Rocktober Blood Tour press party. I don't know why he's doing a pantomime there. That mask is funny. It's like those old school latex masks you used to get at Halloween time. I like this guy. He's like a MTV like VJ. Wonder how many like MTV VJs did coke back in the day. There is we saw Lynn real quick. Now that guy that was in the white there on the left real quick, I believe that is being Sebastian. I believe that is the Sebastian's, Beverly and Ferd Sebastian's son. He's the scam artist. behind the Rocktober Blood Blu-rays from a few years back. You notice I'm really calling this guy out, but I don't like this kind of stuff. When you scam the horror fans, especially horror fans of a movie that somebody in your family put out and you want to scam people, I don't think it's right. And I'm going to call you out. But there is Lynn, who has taken over the band and now is dating Nigel Benjamin's character there to the left. That's a good question, kids. You say, I wonder what the people were dancing to, really. I know sometimes for dancing scenes, they film people dancing to different music. Yeah. And more than likely they did for this movie as well, but I don't know. Yeah, it didn't match. I think I've remarked on that before that it didn't look like they were dancing to what was playing. Yeah, you say it was funny. It looked like they were dancing to something pop. Rick Righteous. Now he's breakdancing. Now, this is a shorter movie, too. This one's about an hour and 27 minutes, folks. For those of you that are keeping an eye on the time, we start a little bit after 9. That's Eastern time, of course. You say, ha, the hip movements look so goofy against the fast music. Yeah, exactly. And this is Rick Righteous, dude. It's so stupid. Yeah, you kind of got me curious, the kids, about what music they are dancing to. It could have been a big song at the time because they weren't going to use it in the movie anyway. Yeah, exactly. You say, I feel like I'm watching one of my parents' party tapes in the 80s. That one guy with the mustache looked like he could be in Hall & Oates. That guy there on the far right with the white shirt, I believe that is Ferd and Beverly Sebastian's son. He's the scam artist, folks. So Lynn went from being the groupie, basically, to being the singer of the group Headmistress now. I hate to, folks, but I'm going to go and get me another little snack. But y'all keep watching. I'll be right back. Okay, gang, I got me some corn chips and some salsa con queso dip. The bunch was so fake. Yeah, look, I remember which one you're talking about there. Poor Frankie got caught in the crossfire there. Now, I wouldn't mind going to a place like this. Looks relaxing. Kids, I want to thank you again for sticking around, for being able to stick around. I haven't been able to do one of these double features in a while. It's kind of fun to do that again. I ain't complaining, but I used to have, tons of people for, watch alongs and stuff like that. But over time, I think so many people are doing their own thing, which is fantastic. And people just don't have time to come to, as many people's things, or participate in as many people's things as they used to. That is that shot of that woman's butt jiggling way up in the camera was one of the most hilarious WTF moments probably I've ever seen in a horror film, at least. Well, a lot of times when people see her ass jiggling like that, they're like, what is that? I don't know why they decided to focus on her ass like that, like way up in the camera. Get you say, oh, yes, let's do aerobics. Actually, none of them look like they need to do aerobics. Exactly. Got to get in running shape from a killer. And then let's pig out on junk food, which is what I'm doing right now. Lynn goes into major bitch mode here, too. Oh, yeah, when you see those black boots, you know that's the killer, right? All killers wear black boots. Sorry. I just had to make a little joke there. In the days before cell phones, when you could have a phone anywhere on your person, And I can't remember if it's right there or somewhere else. And I'm not going to repeat the line, but at one time she asked the killer what they want. And he says, "Your hot, steaming P word blood." It's like everybody's like, "What? What, dude? What are you talking about?" Oh, yeah, that bottle's really going to stop somebody. Oh, it might. Well, somebody was obviously up there. The phone's off the hook. This is actually a pretty nice place. That was weird, though. I don't know if anybody else was looking out the window in that scene, but it looked like there was snow out there. I wouldn't mind staying the weekend in this place, but right, there wasn't a killer there. See how it looks like snow is out there on the ground? Is it just me, or does anybody else notice that? Maybe they filmed this at different times and there was snow out there at some point. Hi, Zoe. Scam artist. Sorry. I couldn't help myself. What in the hell? Was that fringe on the bottom of his pants? I don't know what they're pointing at. Sure, let's not for a creepy boat ride. It's fine. I don't know about you kids or anybody else that's in here, but that dress It's got to be one of the ugliest dresses. But I got to keep in mind, this is the 80s, folks. Some stuff was okay and some stuff was god awful. Looks like some kind of waitress uniform that got shrunk in the laundry. Don't you think it's odd that the hot tub's just automatically running and nobody seems to be around? Uh-oh. That's what you get. You were mad at Chris a few minutes ago. I must tell you, I like this old fashioned bathtub too. Kids, you say, yes, old fashioned bathtubs are awesome. Yeah. So I think she's running bath water, but was she thinking about getting in the hot tub and then the water was cold? So, no, maybe she was thinking about it and then said, nah, hot bath's better. But if it wasn't running, did she really expect it to be hot? What are you doing, Joey? So apparently, that chicken from earlier wasn't dead, but now he's like hacking her up. So he could put her in his trunk, I guess. We're already about 42 minutes into the film, so like I say, these fun films, they don't seem long. Somehow, and this is obviously a VHS rip because there was a tracking line that just went through there. Somehow, though, I don't think that what she was doing trying to rinse her hair would work because she's got freaking bubbles all over the bathtub. If it was me, I would have to bend over underneath that faucet and rinse it because you're not going to get all the suds out. In fact, you're going to get more suds. Maybe that's just relaxing. Oh. But it appears she got all the soap out. So, like, was she using water in the faucet when we... Well, now she's on. Now she's going to rinse, but it looked like she got all the suds out. All right, whatever. Exactly, kids. You say, how do you not notice someone hovering? Yeah. Unless you can't see. You know, I would see, even if I had my eyes closed, I'd be able to sense a shadow, right? Sorry, folks. I'm sure y'all don't want to see me with my glasses off. Because people that wear glasses all the time, you don't look too good when you take them off. Kids, you say I'm a deep sleeper. I've slept through earthquakes. But if someone is looking at me, I'll wake up. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It just gives you a creepy feeling, right? Really? I've got these nose things that have sticky stuff on them that I have to put on my glasses. And after a while, you have to replace them because they start sliding around. They lose their stickiness. And that's what this is starting to do. And I can see it on camera that they're starting to poke out a little bit. I'm going to have to replace them. Uh-oh. Everybody had not hot tubs, water beds back then because there's a water bed on this movie and there was a water bed on Terror on Tour as well. I wonder how many people now wish they had never gotten a water bed. Speaking of water beds, people that had theirs started leaking, and almost everybody that had a water bed back in the day, they said they started leaking. I know even my brother had a water bed for a while when he was living with mom and dad. When we were both still living with mom and dad, he had a water bed for a while, and even his started leaking. They get worn out, I guess. Well, this is a smart idea. Run around in your underwear and a shirt outside. More tracking lines. And I'm sure those Blu-rays that old Ben Sebastian made or had made had tracking lines in them too, because they were a VHS rip. No remastering required. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be on that, but again, it just, as Joe Ball would say, it burns my bacon when anybody tries to rip off fans of horror. I'm going to step away for a second and get me a refresher on my soft drink here. Okay, y'all are probably going to think I'm eating the grossest combination of stuff, but I've had cravings for rice pudding, so I've been getting this Cozy Shack rice pudding. And sometimes I eat it for breakfast or eat a little bit of it for breakfast, but it's sweet, so sometimes I like to have it at night too as a snack. So now she's wanting to dig up Billy Eye's body. So we're shortly going to be coming up on the last quarter of this movie. Again, neither one of the movies tonight were super long. But I've enjoyed, I know we're not at the end yet, but I've enjoyed watching both of these with you guys and gals that could stay and stick around for both of them. And hopefully, I may try to do another round of Evil Dead Chick Slasher Fest next month, and have it be 2 movies, and we'll see how that goes. Is it just me, or does this seem like the most insane idea to go dig up somebody's body? I know, horror movie logic. I get it, but I mean, she's getting a flashlight and a shovel out like it's the most natural thing in the world to go dig up bodies. I guess she don't know where his grave's at, maybe. There we go. Why did she even bring this girl along exactly? Because she's pretty useless. She was hiding out in the car. Now she's wandering around the graveyard. Oh, it's Chris. No. I'm sorry, but it looks like that Chris just stepped out of the 70s. Like, what was it, that jacket? It was like they froze him sometime in the 70s and thawed him out in the 80s, maybe. And now he's helping. I mean, are these people all insane? I think this is hilarious too on the reveal. Well, this is in her head, but I mean, when they actually do see the corpse. He's still got his headband on. There's a skull there. And, like, would he be really wearing that when they executed him? I mean, I don't know about that. Sorry, folks. I'm going to have to fix this later on. Get you some eyes, and it's like, WTF are you watch? Oh. So, kids, I don't know if I've asked you this. Is your husband a horror fan at all? Or is he try to stay away from those things? Steve would probably say that a lot, my husband, but he's watched a fair amount of horror films too. Yes, he is. Ah, gotcha. Maybe we need to introduce him to this movie. You say, but he doesn't get why I watch the cheesy 80s ones. People, ask me that too. And also, Steve nowadays, he's like, I've watched all that stuff. Like, this is an odd kill too, folks. I don't know if that would kill you. Would that kill you, putting a iron on your neck or your throat? Maybe it would. I'm not going to try it out and find out. But anyway, Steve says, why do you want to watch these shitty, 80s movies you've seen a million times? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just like comfort food. I just like them. I was just looking at that. Does that say Black Sabbath there? Kids, help me out there. It's a little blurry. Yes, I agree, kids. There are so many hidden gems, though. Yeah, exactly. And my mom said to me one time, I have my mom to credit a lot for me being the horror fan that I am now, but she doesn't watch many horror films now, like Haunted House, like supernatural stuff. She will, but not slasher films like she used to watch. So I got the bug honest about liking the slasher films. But mom told me one time, she said, well, I guess you've probably seen about all the horror movies out there. I said, no, Mom, I'm always finding new ones, always. I think I could live 3 lifetimes and not watch all the horror films that are out there. I'm trying to do that with Horror Mania and some of the other stuff, but, some of them, especially those early films, as I've talked about, have been lost. So, it's hard to watch every single thing, but I'm trying to watch as many as I can. Why can't she just grow her hair out? Then maybe she wouldn't have to wear these wigs. More tracking lines. So folks, we're down to the last about 23 minutes, and that's more than likely including credits. So again, I hope, you guys and gals have been watching along, have enjoyed this thus far. And if there's anybody that's watching that this is the first time you've ever watched Rocktober Blood, I hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to enjoy the last 20 or so minutes of this. Oh, no. He just keeps popping up, don't he? Oh, he's going to take her to hell with him. Okay, and for all the people that say that Terror on Tour is so dark and muddy, there are dark and muddy scenes in this film as well. So, really, my opinion, you can't use that as an excuse to hate on Terror on Tour. Sorry, but that's just the way I see it. So we find out that it wasn't Billy that killed people. It was his twin brother, John. But Billy is the one that's in the grave. Billy's the one that got executed and blamed for the deaths that happened at the beginning of the movie. And that left his brother John open to continue to kill people. And I believe the actor that plays both Billy and John is Trey Lauren. I think that's his name. I think there may have been a time when people thought that the actor who played Billy and John was the Sebastian son. I think I even thought that one time, but I'm pretty sure it's the guy that was in the white outfit earlier on, white shirt and stuff. But oh goodness, sorry folks. Oh, sorry, folks. Probably a good thing I'm getting down to the end of this. I've been trying to drink enough caffeine to keep myself wide awake. But anymore, and the older I get, and I'll be turning 50 tomorrow, I if I sit for a while, I start feeling sleepy. So I don't think it's my blood sugar because I think I've ate enough that it should be okay. Must be cold back there because I can see his breath a little bit. I've also got to I've got to press about 3 shirts tonight for my dad. He has an antiques and collectibles business where he sells antiques and collectibles. And I was going to make him 3 shirts to give him as an early Father's Day present. So I got to do that tonight. But then I think I'll be done as far as getting things ready for tomorrow when I'm going to go see my parents. Steve's taking me for my birthday. Oh, if I woke up and I was closed up in a casket like this, I tell you, this is a nightmare of mine to, be closed up in something because I'm so claustrophobic now. I almost don't want to tell people that because if somebody ever wanted to, kill me, give me a heart attack, that would be the quickest way to do it, probably. So I will say the theatrics for this band, Headmistress, are, I guess, more elaborate than what the clowns were doing because you see that girl in the white dress and they've got her chained up and stuff. There she is. And some of them, their boobs are hanging out and stuff like that. It's almost like a Hammer horror film there as far as background. I mean, this is really, as far as the stage theatrics, this stuff is a little bit better than what was on Terror on Tour. But like I told the poet, though, I think the songs might be in my opinion, better, or Trucking Lines, better in Terror on Tour. I mean, I find these songs um, great. I guess that was supposed to be our intestines there. I think he's really killing them because that, of course, is John. Oh, there's a lot of tracking lines at the end of this, which was, which happened with VHS tapes at the big, especially at the beginning and the end of tapes, or stuff where people would rewound it a lot, a la Fast Times at Ridgemont High, where Phoebe Cates takes off her bathing suit top in the Judge Reinhold masturbation scene where he's dreaming about her doing that. Uh-oh. I like that effect pretty well with the severed head, though. Kid, she said, I feel like I'm in a high school battle of the bands. Yeah. She looks stoned. Yeah, they pretty much do, Kit. You're right. They all look stoned. But, no offense to any musicians or bands back in the 80s and the 70s and even the 60s, but a lot of them look stoned because they were stoned or drunk, one of the two. Sorry, folks. And I will say, for anybody, the benefit of anybody that watches this on the replay, I mean, you can always go back, go on YouTube, find this movie, sync it up, and watch it. And you can do the same thing with Terror on Tour. It's on YouTube as well. And listen to my commentary over it and my interactions with people. So, I mean, that is one of the few great things about YouTube is, like I've said before, you can always go back, sync this up yourself for not only these, but the watch alongs and the Comic Relief Fridays that'll be coming up. And a lot of times I will wait a while and do, I will repeat these, for people that didn't get to be in on the original one. You can come in on a second or third time. Because I've did a watch along for Terror on Tour before. Nothing says you can't do multiple ones, though. Anybody can do multiple ones if they want. So we're getting down to the wire here, folks, for Rocktober blood. So Lynn at this point thinks she's safe. I think she thinks that the person in the mask is not John, but she thinks it, maybe it's Frankie or something like that. But she's soon going to find out that that's not the case. Because he's, as you can see there, he's taking his mask off. Oh, and Chris showed back up. Someone knocked him out. Uh-oh. This guy, he just hams it up. Yeah, I'll just play. That'll be fine. They're thinking, in the band, they're thinking, yeah, if we play, maybe he won't kill our ass. But we got to play good. This has a great kind of freeze frame ending as well. And you'll see what I mean here in a little bit. Kids, you agree? Yes, it does. I just was thinking about that as we're coming up on the end. And poor sideburns. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's some bad sideburns. That's stick-on sideburns. It's like it's as bad as the Groucho stash at the end of near the end of Sleepaway Camp. No, they didn't. They didn't even try. Come on, Chris, do something. I guess he don't want to hurt Lynn, but Okay. All right. This is great. I love this. And he's gonna scream it out to the end here, like the blood running down his face and all that, and that scream at the end. There we go. Yeah, Trey Lauren. And then we have that freeze frame, and then we have the credits beside Billy's, or John rather's, face. Yeah, head of security was being Sebastian. So, kids, since you were the main person in the chat, I did see other people in here. You said this dude must have stepped on a Lego. Yeah. Um, but again, kids, I want to thank you for staying for the second feature tonight. And for those of you that were maybe watching, didn't feel comfortable getting in the chat, or you couldn't chat at the same time you were watching, I thank you guys and gals as well. And for all of you that will watch these on the replay, if you were not able to stay for both films, or you didn't get to join me live at all, but you'll watch this on the replay, I appreciate you guys and gals as well. You said no problem. It was fun. Well, I'm glad you had fun. I had fun tonight too. Again, it was good to be able to go back to that standard, what I'd originally intended for Evil Dead Chicks Slasher Fest when I started, to be double features. But, like I always say, I'm not angry if people can't stay, but it's nice when they can stay, because I don't want to be on here talking to myself. So, I'm not that interesting of a person. So, I like it when there's at least one person in there that can stay for the second feature. You say yes, kids. You get it? Yeah. I mean, nobody wants to be sitting here talking to themselves. I mean, that makes me feel kind of silly. You just kept streaming until people came. Yeah, I guess if I had the will to do that, I would. And now they do regularly. And maybe I'd need to just, see what happens with people. Maybe they, it's one of those things like, if you build it, they will come type of thing. Uh, okay. So, set that over there. Kid, you say I would just see what works best for your channel times. That's what I had to do. Yeah, sometimes I think maybe I may be a little off on my times. And, I try to be cognizant of when other people are doing streams, especially people that are more popular than I am. And I try not to do streams when they're doing them, but you can't keep track of everybody. The people that I know, a lot of times I know when they're doing streams and stuff like that. But sometimes too, you just got to do your own thing. And I'm sure Kits knows that. But yeah, timing and stuff is key. It really is. You say, nah, you just got to rock what works on your channel. And really, I'm still trying to get a feel for what does work and what doesn't work. But I think if I didn't have to do these t-shirts for my dad, I would probably stay on here a little bit longer. But I think I'm going to tie things up and call it a night. But kids, again, I appreciate you being in here with me for this second movie. And for anybody that was watching along, I thank you as well. You have a great night too, kids, and I'll see you next time. But I'm going to do my spiel here. I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off up here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. And be sure to tune in if you can tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where it's going to be my birthday watch along weekend. We're going to be watching Happy Birthday to Me. Keep an eye out for the first edition of Evil Dead Chick's Tiki Bar to drop. It will be pre-recorded at some point on Sunday. I'm going to try to squeeze in a Positive Renegade Sunday too. We'll see how, if I can get it all squeezed in, because I'm going to have to do some work to make a little money too on Sunday. So I am out of here for now, but I will see everybody next time. Y'all have a great night.